Hi everyone, Krishna this side. So in this video, I'll be covering this LeetCode Problem 3304. Find the kth character in a string game 1. Okay, you can pause the screen and read the problem statement. I'll directly explain you what it is basically trying to say. So let us try to take this in example. In an input, we have given value of k, which is currently 5. So we have to keep on forming a strings. Okay, so initially we will start with character a. So for each example, for any example that has been given, we have to start with a. Okay, and we have to keep on generating strings. Okay, how to generate the string? So whatever the word that we have, for each character, next character, what is the next character? That is something what we have to get it. For character a, next character is going to be b. Let us suppose if there is a character c, for c, next character is going to be obviously d, if we look into the alphabetical order. Okay, so yes, for a, the next character is going to be b. So the generated string is b, and this b is something what we have to attach into this a. Okay, so the generated string becomes ab. Okay, now this word, whatever the new word that we got, ab, again for this ab, for a character the next character is b, for b character next character is c. So this new generated string is bc, and this is something what we have to attach it into this word. Okay, whatever the word that we have, initially we started with a. For a, next character was b, so ab is the new formation of string. Now with this ab, new word generated next words is like bc, so that is something what we have to attach it into this ab. So it is the new form string is like abbc. Again for abbc, we will be having b. For b it is like cc, for c it is like d. So again, this whatever the new generated string that we got, that is something what we have to attach into this word. Okay, so now this entire word that we have formed is having length 8 and k value is basically 5. So fifth character that is been there in this new generated string, that is something what we have to write it into the output. Okay, so we have to make sure that whatever the word that we are forming, it is having length greater than or equals to k, so that we can actually figure out what is the fifth element or kth element that is been there in the word. Okay, so yes, the fifth is b, so we can write it. So for same like for 10th, we have to generate 16th length string, right? Because this 8 characters length word is not sufficient for it. Okay, so that way we have to keep on forming the string until the k value is been satisfied, and then we have to pick the kth character from the string. Okay, so if we look into the constraint, it is like k is basically less than or equals to 500. So this is like if we start building these strings, right? Initially we started with a. If we keep on building the strings, at least the length of the string is going to be 500, and we can easily get the character from it. So the simple idea that comes in our mind is, let's try to build the string, because with the help of constraint we can easily build a string, right? So the first is like we will use the string builder. Okay, initially we start with a. Now we will run a while loop where it will give us the idea like whatever the word, this word dot length, if it is less than this k, we have to keep on generating the strings. The first thing is like we will get the length of this word, because this word length keep on increasing the moment we start appending the new character. So yes, we will get the length, and whatever the length that has been there, we will run for run till that length. Okay, so 0 till length we will run. Initially it was 1, so again the next character is something what we have to figure out, whatever the characters that are available in that word dot length. Okay, so the next character, the current character is word dot caret I, so it is a. Next character is something what we will try to figure out. So at any point in time it is mentioned that if the character g is basically appeared, so we have to change it to a. Okay, so next character is something what we will try to figure out. So if it is c, we will consider a. Otherwise c plus ch plus 1 is something we can do it, so is it will easily get us the next character. Okay, the moment we got the next character, we will simply append it. So it is like the idea is, let us suppose ab is the string that we have currently in the string builder. We got the length, and we will keep on traversing till that length. So because a is the character, first character, next character is b, next is like b, for b it is like c. Okay, this is like a b. The moment we got b, we will append it. The moment we got c, we will append it. So that is the operation, we will keep on doing it. So previously ab was the string, bc is new string that got appended. That way we can keep on forming the strings. Okay, and the moment we realize that if this word dot length is actually equals to k greater than or equals to, we will simply break from it. So whatever the k value that has been there, kth character that will be appended into the word dot length last character. Okay, so that is something what we will return it at the end. The idea is pretty much clear. So each time whatever the length we got, so abc is the new word that we got, okay, at any point in time. So its length is 4. That means 4 times we will go through this, and 4 new characters is something what we have to append it into this one, right? So for the a character it is like b. Okay, that is something what we are keep on figuring out. And for b it is like c. Again next character is c. Again next character is d. So this entire characters are something keep on getting appended. This length was keep on getting incremented, so we made sure that this length is something what we get it outside before running this for loop. Okay, so that new characters are keep on getting appended, and the moment we realize that this word dot length is actually equals to k, we will simply break, and whatever the character is been there, that is something what we will write it into the output. So this is the simplest approach that we can get it in our mind. Okay, now the problem with this is like if the constraint get increased. Okay, initially k is basically 500. If it goes to 10 to the power of 5 or 10 to the power of 8, okay, that time this solution is not acceptable, right? Initially it is like a easy problem, so yes, we can simply consider this approach and it is completely fine. But yes, we have to make sure that if the constraint goes some after if it got increased, right? So we have to be prepared with other approaches as well. Okay, so yes, let me just connect the screen and I'll try to explain you right over there. So this should be fine. So if we discuss about the space, it is going to be max to max 500 characters we can store it. So it is constant currently, and this operation also goes till each time whatever the length that we are getting it, those many characters only are pending. So max to max 500 times we run this for loop as well. Okay, so it's constant, so currently we don't have to worry about it. But just to get idea like how we can solve it in log of time as well, I'll try to explain that particular solution. Okay, let me connect the screen. I hope the screen is visible. Let us suppose a equals to 5 is something is been given initially. Okay, so the strings that we can generate are, it is like this. The first character is a, correct? We will start with a. Now the next character is for b. A is it is going to be b, correct? That is something what we will keep on appending. For this ab, it is like bc is something what we will append it. Okay, for this abbc, it is like b c c d, something that is something what we will append it. Now the fifth character it is asking, so yes, this is enough, like this is having length 8, so we can easily get the fifth character. This was the fifth character, correct? So here if we carefully observe, okay, so we started with a, and this a character only got this character is basically getting shifted multiple times. Okay, initially it got shifted once at this second location. Okay, second location it got shifted. Now again if we notice here at fourth location it got shifted. Okay, this is like shifting this operation whatever happening here, it got shifted once means like a plus 1 if we do, b is something what we get, a plus 2 if we do, c is something what we get. So this is one shift, this is two shift, two times it basically got shifted, correct? Then again if we notice here at this location only it got shifted for the third time, a plus 3 if we do, d is something what we get. Okay, in between them again the repetition basically happens. So here it is like at this location again it is one shift, correct? At this location one shift, so it is third location. Okay, let me just change this color so you get the idea. So this is like 3 4 5 6 7, in between all these locations. If we try to understand here, it is like first shift here once, here two shift, here one shift, two shift, two shift, three shift. Okay, so if we continue this one, okay, now let's say that if we are trying to keep on building this, now for again from this a till d, okay, whatever this word that we got, again that is something what we have to generate for the next one. So it is like a is getting transformed into the b got transformed into c, then it is d, again this b basically got transformed to c, this c basically transformed d, and last d getting transformed into the e. Okay, see, the same word we just tried shifting it. Okay, so whichever the last character that was there, okay, it is going to be 16th character again which got shifted. So it is like for fourth shift it was again the last character, right? So the fourth, whatever the fourth shift that we got, it was last character. In between these, those are again like it could be the second shift, third shift, like that way. But the fourth shift that is basically happening at these locations, the third shift happening at this location, so it is like multiple of two, right? Because any string that we are generating, next string that we are generating, we are just reusing the same string and again adding the same next character string, right? That is something what we are doing it, right? So at this location, at this location, new shifts were transformed, new shifts were happening, correct? In between that, it was like whatever the previous shifts, that all possible shifts that got, those shifts we are getting it in right over here. So again, if we try to see here, it is like second shift, here it is like third shift, here it is like third, fourth, third, fourth. Okay, so basically shifts were getting added right over here. It new shift whatever we got here, it is fifth shift. Okay, so yes, that is something what we have to take care of. So it is it correct? Okay, this was fourth shift, right? One, two. Okay, sorry. This was the third shift. This should be first shift. Okay, because if I add one into the B, into the A, I can get easily B, right? So it was second, second, third, fourth shift. We got at 16th location. Okay, now I think if we try to carefully observe right over here, let us suppose k value is basically equals to 11. Okay, k value basically equals to 11. I just have to figure out whatever the 11th character. This is 8, 9, 10, 11. This was the 11th character, right? So here it got second shift. Okay, it got second shift. So I just have to make sure that this shift, how many times it got shifted. If I get this answer, okay, if I get this answer, I can simply add it into the a plus 2. If I do, definitely I get C. A plus 2 if I do, I get C, correct? So that is something what I just have to figure out this shift, at what time phase it is getting shifted, correct? At 16th location it is getting shifted to 4 times. So if I add a plus 4, it is going to be E, correct? If I add 3, a plus 3 is basically D. Okay, so just need to figure out these shifts. If we able to get this shift at which pace it was getting shifted, our answer is been done. Okay, and if we try to observe carefully, it is happening in multiple of 2. Okay, the any new shift that is happening, it is happening in multiple of 2. In between these shifts, those shifts are basically whatever the previous values that we got so far from this one only, it got computed. Okay, so yes, now the first thing that we will try to think is like how to get this shift. Okay, this value, if we get a shift, we are done with this one. Okay, so the first thing basically we will try to do is like we'll try to generate the length. Okay, the length which basically covers this k value. Okay, so how it basically happens, the length, whatever the length that we are trying to generate, it is basically in multiple of 2. Initially if length was 1, correct, the next length is going to be 2. Now whatever the 2 length string that we got, if we multiply, it is going to be 4. Okay, because that's how the things were happening, right? Then it is like next is 8, again 2 multiply, this is like new string that we can get. After this multiplication, again it is like 8 into 2, 16 length string, that is something what we get. Okay, so it is multiple of 2. So we will keep on doing this multiplication to get the length. Okay, which should be at greater than or equals to this k, greater than or equals to this k. So let us suppose k value is basically at this point in time k equals to 16. So we keep on multiplying length into 2 until this length greater than or equals to k. Okay, so we can run a while loop inside there, we will keep on doing this operation. So length into 2 is something what we will do. So ultimately the moment we realize this length is actually greater than or equals to k, we will get out of this loop. Simply that is the operation that we will do. Okay, the moment we got the length, now length is basically equals to 16 and k value is also equals to 16. Okay, so we are basically looking for this shift, like how many times it got shifted, correct, this character, because based on that only the values are getting computed, right? So now for 16, if I try to reduce this case value, okay, if I try to reduce this case value, okay, keep on coming backside, that way also we can get it the answer, right? So see what I'm trying to say is, now length is 16, k value is basically equals to 16. So we have to make sure that this whatever the length and k value is been there, k value should be greater than this length. Okay, that way we can get the reminders that we are getting in between. Okay, so initially length is 16, k value is 16, so 16 is 16 length, whatever the length that we have, it should be less than this k. So the operation that we will do is, now we are basically trying to reduce this k value. We are basically trying to reduce this k value, and how many times this k value got reduced, that many times shift is something what we can consider it. So length is 16, k is 16, so we have to make sure that this length should be less than this k, and only operation that we can do is again divide this length by 2. Okay, now length is basically 8, k value is basically 16, so we can simply reduce this k value. How we can reduce? 16 minus 8, if we do, k value is basically equals to 8. 16 minus 8 if we do, because length is basically 8, k is basically 16. So if we do, new value of k value is basically 8, and this is one shift that we have done. One shift we have done. Okay, just try to think about this. So one shift we have done. Again the same operation we will do. Let's divide this length by 2. Okay, length equals to now 4, k value got updated to 8, so again k value is basically equals to 8 minus 4 is basically 4. Okay, this was the second shift. Again length, let's divide this operation, we will keep on doing until this length is basically greater than 1. Okay, till that point in time we will do this operation, we will keep on performing, so that we can reduce this k value and we will bring it back to the uh, first index. Okay, that is the goal we are having currently. Okay, so now this value got shifted, and the shift, one shift got here, second shift we got here. The now length is basically equals to it was 4, right? Initially, yeah, okay, now it was 4, so length is basically updated to 2. K is basically equals to 4. Again 4 minus 2, this k value minus 2 is something, k minus length is something what we are doing it, so it is basically 2. So this is again another shift that we have done, so it is third shift. Okay, shift is basically getting updated each time whatever the subtraction that we are doing. K value got reduced to 2, and length is basically 2. Again we can divide this length, so 2 divided by 2 is basically equals to 1. Okay, k value is basically equals to 4. Again k value we can sorry, k value is basically 2, we can subtract this, k value is basically now updated to 1, and this was the fourth shift that we got. Okay, the moment we realize length is basically equals to 1, we can now come out of the loop. Okay, so this is the breakpoint we have. Okay, and till this breakpoint we can easily achieve the k value at first index. Okay, that is going to happen for sure by doing this operation. So k minus length we will keep on doing it, and length should be this less than this k value. So this way we got 4 operations. So now if we add this a plus 4, we can easily get basically e as an output. Okay, e as an output we can easily get it. So that is the goal for this one. Okay, now for 16 we got this. Okay, for 16 it is working fine, but what about 15, 14? There also this will basically easily work. Okay, and this base solution whatever we are trying to do, it is basically happening in a log of k, right? Because k times shifting is something what we are doing it for the length, so it is obviously in a multiple of 2. So whatever the operation that we are doing, it is basically in logarithmic time. Okay, so again let us suppose if k value is basically equals to, let us suppose see whatever this one, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. K is basically equals to 13. For this 13, 2 is 2 times only shift that is basically happening. So again we will try to use the same thing. So whatever the k value, k is basically got reduced with k minus length. Okay, now length is 16 and k value is 13, so obviously we have to divide the length. That time we will not count it, only the count happens if the k value got reduced. Okay, length is basically equals to length minus length divided by 2. Now length was 16, so length is basically got updated to 8. The same operation we will keep on doing. So k value is 13, 13 minus 8 is basically equals to 5. You can notice here now we got reduced directly to the fifth index. Okay, because this distance, whatever this distance from this one, it may bring it directly closer to this one. Okay, because it is like half of strings basically got divided into this one, right? So that is why this brings us closer to this one. Okay, this was one shift. Okay, this was one shift. Now again length should get reduced by 2, so length is basically equals to 4. K value is basically 5 now. So again 5 minus 4 is something, when we do, we reduce this k value to directly 1. Okay, this k value basically got reduced directly equals to 1, and this was the second operation we do. Okay, this was the second operation we do. Now this k value basically got updated directly equals to 1. Okay, so length is basically 4, so we have to make sure that length should less than this one. So we will keep on dividing this, it is like 2. Again 2 is actually greater than, again if we divide, it is basically 1. Again when we try to divide, the moment we realize that length is actually equals to 1, we will break from it, we will simply break from it. Okay, that way the moment we got this one, we are done, right? So only two shift operations we have done it for this 13th index. Same if you try to do for this index, any index, with the help of this one we can easily get it. Okay, so that's how we can try to solve this one. And it's basically whatever the code that we have seen, it will take log of k times. Okay, so any big numbers that we have, we can easily solve this one. Okay, so let me try to write the code, and then again I'll try to explain you through that way. So the first thing that we will try to generate is the length. We are not storing any characters, any nothing. We can directly get the index. Okay, so length here is basically equals to initially it will start with 1. We will run a while loop while length actually greater less than or equals to k. Okay, till that point in time we will keep on updating this length. So length into 2. Okay, so that way we can get the length. Okay, the moment length is actually greater than this k value, we will break from it. Okay, I think length should be less than, that means the moment length is actually equals to k, that time also it will break it. Why to go extra, right? So let us suppose now multiplying this length is 16, k value is basically equals to 16. 16 less than 16, it is not possible, so we will break from it. Okay, the moment we got the length, next is like we have to get a shift. Okay, initially it will be 0, and shift will get keep on incrementing. Okay, another while loop we will simply run it, and in this one length should be greater than 1. Okay, that was the goal. Okay, the moment length is equals to 1, we will simply break from this while loop. The first thing that we will try to do is we will try to get how many uh, if this length, if this length, if it is less than the k or not. Okay, but before that also we will just do this operation, because at any point in time when length is greater than or equals to k, we have to make sure that length should reduce by 2. Okay, if 16 is the length that we got from this one, and k value is also 16, 16 minus 16, that is something what we are not doing it, right? So length should be less. So length is like, we will first divide it by 2, that way it should be at least less than this k. If length is actually less than k, we will update the k equals to k minus length. Okay, whatever the length is been there. Okay, this way we got k value, and this is like one shift that we have done. Shift equals to shift plus 1. Okay, see now here at a certain point in time, see for this smallest this inputs, it will work fine, but at any point in time shift is happening really big. Okay, it is going beyond 26, 27. Okay, if we try to add this 26, 27 correct into a, it will go out of bounds. So that is that condition also we have to make sure to handle. Here also we can do it. Okay, right over here or at the end also, while adding with a, that time at that point in time we will simply have to modulo with 26, so that if 27 shift we got, that means like again it is first shift, so again the character is going to be 1. Okay, so that is something what we have to make sure. So basically 27 modulo 26, if we do 1 is something what we will get, that is something what we have to add it into the a. Okay, so yes, that's the goal. So shift is something what we got. Now this k value keep on reducing, and length also getting reduced. The moment length is actually equals to 1, we will break out of it. Okay, so that way we get the shifts simply, and the end is like we will return the character. Okay, care of whatever the shift that we got. Shift modulo 26 plus a. If we do this one, we are definitely going to get the answer. Okay, we have to return the answer in the character. So yes, whatever the shift that we got, if it was going beyond 26, obviously we have to put this modulo operator and get this in a range, so that when we add it with a, it will get us the character. Okay, so when we try to run this, it should work fine. So whatever this code that we are trying to generate here, it is happening in a log of k times. Okay, log of k in the sense like I guess it goes bit bigger than that as well, but yes, this is how we can solve this one. And yes, I hope you get the idea about this particular code. If so, please make sure to like this video, and thank you for watching this one. Bye bye.